on this episode of American Travelers. We're in Monterey, California, and attending the Pebble Beach Tour de Elegance. Our guest today is automotive enthusiast Mark Green.
Mark Green, I heard you're a car guy.
A little bit, just a little bit, and you're in Car Mecca here today because nothing gets better than Car Week, Pebble Beach Car Week, and here we are at the tour. And all the cars are going to be getting ready to drive away, but you're going to have fun today.
I think so. Well, tell me a little bit about your podcast.
Cars Yeah is a 4-day-a-week podcast where I interview what I call inspiring automotive enthusiasts, people that have wrapped their passion and love for cars into their lives and their careers. I've had the head of the Pebble Beach Concours, Sandra Button, on my show 4 times now. I think she's been on more than anybody. So I interview people basically that have a love and passion for cars. This week on my show, we're all racers. They were promoting the Laguna Seca historic races. You got to get out to the historic races, by the way, because it's 4 days of all sorts of old cars from the teens all the way up to modern supercars. All racing door to door. Some of these things are worth millions of dollars. It's just, I'm in heaven.
So Mark, I see all these cars lined up. Tell me a little bit about what's going to happen.
Well, what's going to happen is about 150 of the 250 cars that will be on the lawn at Pebble Beach on Sunday morning participate in the tour. The great thing is they get a ribbon. It'll be a green ribbon. So if you see them on the lawn at Pebble with a green ribbon, that means they went on the tour. And if there's 2 people that get equal points in the same class, the person with the ribbon wins because they actually drove their car. So all of these vehicles are going to start to head out. They're going to drive out onto Highway 1, down to Big Sur, turn around, and come back. 2 years ago, I got to ride in a 1913 Rolls Royce from a guest that had been on my podcast. I put a post out there that said, anybody give me a ride with my thumb out? And I got a ride. So all these cars will head out, and what's amazing is you have cars here from all different years, all different makes. I think this is the first time I've seen a 914 here, so something special about this car. Maybe it's the first GT, I'm not sure, but you will see more variety in cars just walking up and down these roads than I think you'll see in your entire life. This is fantastic. This week is all sorts of events. So what we have is the tour. Tomorrow we have the Quail, which is an all-day event down in Carmel Valley. We have 4 days of racing at Laguna Seca Racetrack. We have the Pebble Beach Concours. Then I think there are 4 or 5 auction houses. We have Gooding behind us. So they have incredible cars that you can buy if you brought one of those big golfer's checks, because you're going to need a big one for the caliber of cars that are for sale here. There's special events, private events with different car makers. There's debuts from car makers of new cars they're going to be coming out with. This week is all about cars. My hotel, I got up early at 5 this morning. I'm walking down a dark street in Carmel, and I see a Bugatti Chiron. I see probably 7 cars just parked on the street, each of them worth $2-3 million a piece. So you will see stuff here like you've never seen before. And the lineup at the beginning of the show here are 3 incredible Mercedes-Benz that, I don't know, am I excited? Just a little bit. Terry, let's go look at some great cars, and we'll start with these. Your comment is very common coming here to Pebble Beach Car Week and the tour, and that is the incredible variety of cars. This is a Talbot-Lago. This is a French car, and it's really a work of art. And a lot of the cars here that you'll see are so rare and so unique. It's hard to imagine that people actually drove these things around the streets. You imagine cruising through Paris in a car like this. So if you think about this, back in the day there was a lot of technology that wasn't available. So if you look at the glass on this vehicle, it's flat versus curved. They weren't able to really do too much of that. Plus, probably had to do with manufacturing costs maybe, and the design, of course, the swoopiness of it. So you'll see cars here that will have flat glass, and then as cars get newer, you'll see cars with curved glass. I love the way the windshield wipers come in from the sides too. The great thing about the tour is you run into people like you, Gord. You've been a guest on the Cars Yeah podcast. You are knee-deep, neck-deep in the car world, and this car is very special because you get to drive it today. Can you tell me a little bit about your make, model, and maybe one little thing about the many special things about this beautiful Talbot?
Yeah, it's a 1937 Talbot teardrop coupe, coachwork by Fagoni and Falaschi. Fagoni in They're one of the
Featured marks
this
here.
year, so that's why we brought the car out. It's one of two that were built with these skirted front fenders. These are the colors the car was born, so it was a silver blue car back when it was new.
And you match a little bit.
Just coincidentally, yeah.
Arnold here, you had great involvement in restoring this car. What's it like to bring a car like this back to life?
To me, I was a part of a team of 30 people that restored this car at the Nethercutt collection, and the man that owned it, Lindy Locke, had 5 Talbot-Lagos.
5.
And he used to drive them everywhere.
Wow.
This car, he'd drive to Bonneville and run it at the salt flat.
On the salt, you're kidding.
No, he'd run it on the salt flat.
Wow.
And then drive it home. He wouldn't trailer it
Oh
anywhere.
my gosh.
You know, just to be a part of restoring this, like I was just telling the lady about, just to make the bumpers. I had 2 months in making a bumper.
Yeah.
Most people kind of fathom, you know, but to
How
get
could
a
you do that?
perfect bumper in that teardrop shape.
Well, you know, it's thanks to people like you, your craftsmanship, your love, your passion for these vehicles, that we get to be here and see it. So I'm so glad I got to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
This is a real treat to come to Pebble Beach and see all these exotic cars. This whole week's car event is called the Monterey Historics and was first organized by Steve Earle in 1974. It was one of the first vintage car racing events of its kind in the United States, and since has become one of the most prominent and respected events in the world. Here's a little joke for this tiny racer. Why did the dog bring a red pen to the park? Just in case he wanted to mark his territory. Okay, back to checking out these cars. This one drew a lot of attention, and rightly so.
Caroline, how are you doing?
Great, it's great to see you, Mark.
The great thing about being here is running into old friends. I feel like we've known each other forever. You've been a guest on my show. You're with Broad Arrow Group. You guys started a show yesterday out at the airport. You've got some incredible cars. So I want to ask you something. When you walk amongst these cars, because you've been around so many great cars, what's one thing that just stands out for you as we stand in front of this gorgeous, gorgeous colored car?
I would say, Thursday morning I think is one of the best days of Pebble Beach.
Right.
Sunday is obviously the pinnacle, but this is where you actually really get to see the cars, you get to hear the cars running.
Right.
You're able to walk around and be right next to them, see the owners, see the excitement. This is where they see if their car performs for 100 miles.
Right, exactly.
And it's a lot of time and energy put into these cars, and it's just exciting to see the restorers, transporters, everyone that really made this happen to get these cars.
And running into old friends.
Exactly.
I always say the cars are really about the people.
You know, the cars from the 1930s have beautiful curves on the body. The black and orange accents really makes this one stand out. Mark wants to take a break from filming to get a donut, but they're all gone, so coffee it is.
There's nothing like being at the Pebble Beach Tour with a cup of coffee, beautiful cars, and wonderful people. This is the life. So Nancy the strong nurse, I understand we call you. You brought not only a preservation car today, but you're dressing the part.
Yes, this is a 100-year-old knickers outfit and a service jacket.
Oh my gosh.
Packard service jacket.
And the clubs too.
Authentically 100 years old.
So this is a preservation class car. Tell me a little bit about exactly what does that mean?
That means that it's never been touched since the brand new, since
Original
origin.
paint.
Everything original.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
It's fascinating to hear the history because, in the Depression, 1932 was one of the most grueling years of the Depression.
Right.
For somebody to be able to afford a $4,100 car was amazing.
Right.
So a lieutenant commander in the Navy got it for his wife.
This is what the Concours is all about. Cars that are used and are driven. And a car like this, I can't thank you enough for bringing this and sharing it with us.
Would you look at this old-time racer? Not much of a windshield. I guess you would be wearing a helmet to keep the bugs out of your eyes and hopefully out of your teeth. This is not an American car. Note the steering wheel location. Carrie looks over this exquisite-looking car and a well-dressed passenger inside. Gray poop on anyone?
Diane, you and I met how long ago?
25
25
previous
years
lifetimes.
ago? Previous lifetimes when
Yes.
when we were a little bit younger, because we're still so young today.
Oh.
You were the first lady on my Cars Yeah podcast. You are a Bentley Rolls-Royce expert. You've been a judge at the Pebble Beach Concours for how many years now?
Almost 40, since 1984.
Okay, we'll say 5, right?
Okay.
Incredible. And the great thing about you is last year you let me ride in on the lawn with you.
Oh, it was
And-
such
was that a
fun.
53 Bentley? Did I have my year right?
It was a 54.
54, okay. That made my day because after coming here for 33 years, I've never been able to ride on the lawn. You've been such a great friend. Let me ask you, what does the tour mean to you as a diehard car expert?
Well, for many of us, getting there is better than being there. And this epitomizes what it's all about. The real joy in having a car like this is driving it.
Yeah,
As
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
you do that a lot. Right?
Now the hard question is, if you could pick any of the cars here today to go on the tour in, just real quick, off the top of your head, is there one that stands out for you?
A couple, actually.
Okay, I figured there would be.
Yes, yes.
Which would they be?
Well, one starts with a D,
Okay.
one starts with a B.
Okay. Bentley, I'm guessing.
It's a Bugatti.
Oh, wow.
Very, very-
Okay, stepping up.
Yes.
And the D, Daimler? Duesenberg.
No, not quite. Daimler.
Daimler.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Daimler. Yeah,
Daimler.
those are on the front. Yes.
The expert.
Oh.
Yeah. It's so good to run into you. I'm going to see you again on the lawn
We
at
will.
Pebble. Yeah.
We're going to arrive again together.
Oh, well, I'd love to do
We
that.
will.
Absolutely. It's always so good to see you.
We would highly recommend planning a trip to Monterey in August to see the Pebble Beach Tour de Elegance. Thanks for watching American Travelers.